controversy, rippling like the flag. An NFL quarterback makes a gesture, starts a movement, lights a fuse.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Nate Boyer couldn't fathom why his favorite team's quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, chose to sit during the national anthem last August.
I was angry and hurt, at first to see Colin sitting, because I didn't understand why. And
that anger, born of service to his country, 6 years in the Army, a Green Beret, a man who makes the impossible possible.
No is one of my favorite words. Proving people wrong is like become an obsession of mine. And
after the Army, Boyer defying no again, not on the battlefield, on a football field. Enrolling at the University of Texas, walking on to the Longhorns, even though he was too short, too slow, and had never played football in his life.
Scrambled to find a way on the field via long snapping, the thankless job that nobody wants to do.
It seemed nobody wanted to defend Kaepernick for sitting during the anthem, certainly in the military, and certainly not Boyer. But he did want Kaepernick to know how his actions affected veterans.
So I wrote an open letter, and it was basically just as if you were sitting, as if Colin was sitting right where you were sitting, and I had, 5 minutes to tell him a little bit about me and, how I'm a fan of his and how I know this isn't about the troops, and it's not about hating America, but I do want to try to understand. I want to try to work together because I want to see you stand again and stand because you feel the same way that I feel about our country.
The Army Times published that letter. Kaepernick read it and invited Boyer to meet with him in San Diego.
We talked more about how people in my community were reacting to this. What else can you do? Because sitting isolated like that to me looks like you don't care.
But Kaepernick did care. Enough to spend 2 hours with Boyer. They talked, listened, and worked something out.
We found a compromise or a middle ground or whatever you want to call it, where he would kneel alongside his teammates that night for the anthem, and I told him I'd stand next to him if he did that.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
It was Boyer's idea. Yes, it was a military man, a former Green Beret, who asked Colin Kaepernick to kneel for the national anthem.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars.
And people take a knee to pray, people take a knee. We take a knee in front of one of our fallen service members, grave to pay our respects. I think it's more respectful. Of course, that's just my opinion.
Some of Boyer's fellow veterans share that opinion.
Colin listened. He heard that, and that's the point, is that this is a conversation. He's not just trying to disrespect the country, and he's definitely not disrespecting the troops. I think for him it has nothing to do with that.
It's his right to protest. We serve in the military to preserve the rights of the citizens, okay? And we serve in the military to protect the Constitution of the United States.
But for other veterans, especially combat vets.
United States Marine Corps Infantry.
8 years, Marine Corps.
Recon Marine, 1998.
In the United States Navy as a Navy SEAL.
Kneeling for the anthem, that they won't stand for.
I'd like him to apologize for everybody, to the country for doing that, to the flag and to the anthem.
The consequences of his protest is the disgrace and disrespect of a symbol that represents freedom and unity and all the men that have fought, men and women who have fought and died to retain the greatness that America truly has and has always had.
The downside of that is a lot of people look at me and blame me for these protests now.
And Boyer's not interested in playing the blame game. He says it's not a game at all.
I've had so many people say, pick a side. You have to take a side. Like, no, this isn't something to win or lose, We gotta do better.